Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. Tully Burnalot here, coming to you straight from the sunny yet suddenly shiny land of Portugal. You might notice that my voice is a bit different. That is because I have a cold, and I can barely speak. Therefore, you may now enjoy the sultry tones of my deep, rumbling voice. I could make some joke about a radio presenter, but I won't, because I'm above that, frankly. Anyway, topic of today's video is Red Retold, created by one Barry Atkins and currently featured on Game Jolt. It is apparently an alternate take on the Endless Runner with Red Riding Hood. No idea exactly what I'm supposed to be looking at, but let's check out how to play. Let's see. Little Red Riding Hood occupies many alternative realities, many stories, and many worlds. Each possible world is represented in one of the 4 panels to the left. Pardon me, I'm nearly dying. In Red Retold, you can choose which reality to inhabit with a simple mouse click. Click again and she jumps. Move between realities and jump to avoid obstacles and monsters. Try me now. Oh, I get it. Well, that was anticlimactic, wasn't it? Well, look at that. It actually gives you statistics on how many things you've evaded. Of course, because I'm a complete noob, I evaded none. And you know why? I don't know why. Maybe I just suck at this game. Who knows? Okay, that last line was a bit creepy. So essentially what I'm guessing is I have to go around, and... Oh. Well, that's a bit odd, isn't it? How was I supposed to survive that? Okay. I get how the game is supposed to be played. It's an endless runner, and you have to select between several different realities to avoid dying horribly. And I was supposed to escape that how exactly? Was I supposed to have taken the thing? Maybe the bottle that has a skull and crossbones isn't bad? Who knows? I'm sorry, what? Wait a second, let me test something out. If I just... Oh, I see. So I don't actually have... Oh, I get it. That's interesting. I don't actually have to actively evade anything. Only if that thing is in my path right now. So, technically speaking, I could just let things slide on a second, third, and fourth iterations. And then whenever I need to slide away and prevent things... Oh, that is quite interesting. In fact, that's a nice little concept, isn't it? Okay, so this is how I think it works. I only get gold if I select the iteration that has the gold in it, or the coin. Yes, gold. However, that also means that I have to actively avoid objects. However, if I'm not in that active iteration, I can just pass through objects. That's actually quite an interesting take on the whole story. Which means that even though I can jump, I don't really need to most of the time. I can just swap to other iterations, and that way prevent my horrible death. That's actually quite interesting, if I might say so. Barry Atkins, you magnificent bastard. That is amazingly amazing. Ah, damn it. That is amazing. That is actually amazing. I like it. I very much like this concept. I mean, not that there's much for me to do anyway, and there's much I want to do, considering I'm stretching out my recovery time by getting out of bed and doing this thing, but, you know, I want content out, and, well, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, even if I'm dying to provide it to you, and it's not exactly high content. High content, high quality. What the I don't even know what I'm going on about. There's apparently cultists trying to get me. Apparently in this particular reality, you don't have to worry just about the big bad wolf. Oh, right. Apparently in this reality, you don't have to worry just about the big bad wolf. You have to worry about witches, you have to worry about cultists, you have to worry about piggies, or in this case, someone wearing the pig mask from Hotline Miami. You have to worry about what appears to be Episcopalian monks, and all sorts of nasty things, and of course you have this weird warping power that allows you to simply ignore these threats by focusing on a different timeline. Of course, what that means to me is that this particular iteration of Red Riding Hood is some sort of Time Lord. Either that, or this is all in fact a simulation of sorts, and I'm simply running different iterations of the simulation, which would mean that in some way, this particular version of Red Riding Hood is in fact Neo from the Matrix. See, this would make sense, because if you think about it, what are you doing here? You're in an endless journey, of course. Let me think about this. I can come up with some pseudo-intellectual, philosophical bullshit. You are, of course, in an endless runner, which means that you are, in fact, basically just running ahead and wasting your time and waiting until your inevitable demise. Which means that, in essence, what you're doing here is running against death. You're running down the clock, and you're running down your existence, and all you're doing is selecting these various different pathways, which of course represent the choices you make in life. Do you smack headlong along objectives? Do you curiously evade them and ignore them, which is represented here by the warping into other dimensions? Do you directly face them for the thrill? Do you directly face them in order to get the most possible gain from it? Are you going through life purely to acquire enough material wealth that would justify your pathetic, miserable existence? Or maybe you're just going through life for fun. See, this is an important distinction to make, because this game actually has a deep philosophical meaning to it, and I think you have to have this sort of cold high, as I like to call it. You need to be in the particular state of mind to just see exactly what I'm seeing here. And it's glorious, really, because this is a metaphor for life. Because you're basically just running down the clock and running around doing whatever the hell you want to do, collecting your paychecks at the end of the month, just so you can keep going until eventually something bad happens and you die electrocuted in a fence post. I mean, that happens, doesn't it? Or you get fed to the pigs, or a Wiccan curses you, or a whole bunch of other magnanimously horrendous things. And really, you can't stop it. Eventually, you will lose. Eventually, you will die. And it doesn't matter how much you try to avoid it, and it doesn't matter how much you try to confront it. In the end, all it takes is a simple mistake, and then you'll die. Or maybe you'll just reach the end, and that's it. And every time you go to the end, you realize that I didn't accomplish everything I wanted to accomplish. There was always someone better than me. It's quite a depressive game if you think about it. Of course, I might just be spewing bullshit out of my mouth, and this is simply a endless runner with some sort of weird phasing mechanic, but surely that can't be it. In this new age of conceptualized bullshit and everything has a double meaning to it, that has to be it. It's a spiritual representation of life in the modern age, and a very good one at that. Well, I guess I ran the gamut. I guess I'll content myself with 195 points. Not that I can do much else. So thank you for tuning in, and please stay tuned in to the next video, which will hopefully be a bit more energetic, and a bit less depressive, and a bit more optimistic. No guarantees.